like you. You be Baba. Oh yeah, never male. Papa la kosolia yero. This thing you can do. Let's color. It's not before you. When me I got it, I have searched all over the world and I found nobody like you. Great and morning star, only you I serve. Every day I will pour my love on you. That's why when I wake in the morning I sing my praise to you. In the night, oh, now you are the more, now you the rain, now you, you be Baba. And so it's salute. You be Baba. Daddy, no one like you.
Good morning to good evening. I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Taking the interest of African solidarity, taking you to neighboring Nigeria. This is by Monique Trowe.
I love you. I declare my love. I praise you. You alone, my love.
Let us going on around the world. Only the old man out there we can call on. So let us show love to our African brothers, those in the Christian industry as well.
Calm down. Oh my Jesus, come receive my praise. There is nobody like you. And so it's salute. Daddy, no one like you.
Yes, Brother Leden Never, we're going to be having some citizens from Bon County who wants to talk about their county as well. And some of them have been making significant contribution to the Phoebe Hospital. But the future of the Phoebe Hospital is currently at stake, all right?
I rise to praise my God. Attention, my national praise. Yes, sir. International dance. For my supernatural love. That's right. Melody in my heart. This will see you back. I sing because I'm happy. I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh, you follow me, thank you. Everybody. The peace my God has done. I cannot tell it.
I came across this piece here and I think it's so inspirational, and I just started to share with our many viewers and listeners in the interest of African solidarity. Some of my guests standing by, stay tuned. We're going to be having this conversation very shortly.
It's not before you. When me and body, you're my love and joy. The reason why I smile. Bright the morning star. Only you I serve. Every day now you, I will pour my love on you. Oh yeah, follow me, Tangamo. Oh yeah, follow me, Tangamo.
Well, let's return to our own to West African state, the song that introduces this program, talking about Minister Joseph Bass and Keep Praise. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hey, hey. Hallelujah. Hey. Giving. Hallelujah. Hey. Giving the highest praise. Hallelujah. Hey. Giving the highest praise. Hallelujah. Hey. Giving the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give you the highest praise.
Good evening, folks. I want to welcome you to this evening broadcast. I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio. And Lpr-Tv is 7:06 Eastern Standard Time right here from the New England Bureau. I want to welcome you this Beautiful evening. Hopefully, your Sunday was awesome, was good, whatever you are in Liberia, right here in the USA. No matter where you are, hopefully you had a very beautiful day. We want to welcome you to this evening to broadcast. Better late than never. Sometimes we have to undo politics and look at some of the things that are impacting that are really significant in the survival of the life of our people. So we want to do that. But first of all, I want to say a big thank. I want to give God the praise for giving us the strength to be here. And more especially, the weekend was kind of a little bit rough, but by the grace of God, my daughter, 16-year-old, their house, the issue of the armed robbery in the country now is just unprecedented. 5 grown men, according to the information I received from her mother, 5 grown men entered the house 2 nights ago, 2:30 a.m. forcibly with cutlasses, knife, and demanded things, took away everything that they had. But the good thing about it, the life is still there. This is a clear indication that the country is on edge. The issues of the violence. I'm happy that so far, according to what I've been informed, she was untouched, physically was not harmed, nothing like a rape, taken away cell phone, laptop, whatever material thing. That so far is insignificant to me, but because of survival, to sustain her life, that's the most important thing. And I think she's still going through that terror, crying and stuff like that. It's very painful. I don't think this is what should be going on in our country. And there's a need that national government and those in charge of security must do everything possibly they can't, that the citizens must be protected. We understand there are challenges, but this has become a tradition. Or in the day, you talk to people, in the day, broad day, all grown up, it doesn't matter your age. People rob you, and sometimes security personnel will be there, nothing is done out of it. What, God forbid, 5 men with cutlasses and other stuff, harmful, dangerous materials, entering a house. It would be a terrible thing, But again, in the midst of that, it's a challenge to national government to ensure that the security of the state is paramount. And this is why some of us, we are strongly against this sort of bickering, the lack of unity within the system itself, be it from the government, for the opposition, to address some of these critical issues that matters to the survival of the country. All we hear all day, people, talk stuff that just doesn't help the society. It is time for both groups to put up some sort of come together in a bipartisan context to address these issues that are facing the country. Election is coming. And if there's when security is not guaranteed, what's the possibility of having free and fair election? This should be the concern of every Liberian. And it's like everybody doing their thing. I'm not sure, but I was told late this evening that there was some comment. I'm trying to go out there to see it for myself. I just do not like to dwell on some sort of makeup. I like to see it and validate to see what is concrete, that the national government or the president is calling on people to have cameras. I don't know. I'm waiting to see that. I'm going to search on that to see whether it was a statement or whether it was some sort of audio or video. I'm waiting to see that. I don't think it does not set the tone in providing security for the sovereign nation. Where is the electricity? What happens to those that have been murdered? What has been the outcome of that? So I don't want to believe that. I hope to see it, to learn it, but I was told by folks from inside Liberia just late this evening, the comments or statements coming from national government. If that is the case, then it's troubling. Well, my guest is standing by now, Mr. Amos George, and hopefully the other guest is doing everything possible to bring her. Let me come here. They are citizens, some citizen. So their opinion, their views should not be the view of the entire citizenry, people from Bond County. We want to make that crystal clear. But they also have the right to express their apprehension to see what is going on. Let me go to our man standing by. Amos George is here. He's a senior contributor of the Liberia Public Radio, but I'm not sure he's going to be speaking in that contest. He's a citizen of Bond County. He does have the right to to speak on things that are affecting the county as well. So, Pa George is joining me. Mr. Amos George is joining me from Atlanta, George. You're right here in the USA. To hope to expand this conversation to the rest of the folks inside Liberia. Mr. George, good evening.
How you doing, Mr. So?
Okay, good to have you here this Sunday evening. I hope your colleague, I did send out the invite already. I'm hoping that if you can communicate with him to check his assistant is already there, so he should be good to be here as well. Okay, how was the Sunday, my man?
Well, Freedom would have fallen with a grab.
For that grab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I had a very long working weekend as well, and when I got the call from my daughter was crying, their house was forcibly entered into by 4 grown men with dangerous weapons, demanding and took every little thing. They have crying, Papa, I can't do my assignment. They carry my phone, my how you call it, laptop. Why not even me one more? You say so. I like, you know what? Forget about that. Your life is more important. But this is scary to see here, because it's just all over the country, and people are being robbed broad daylight, grown people, and nothing is being done about it. I heard a statement. We're going to come to the substance of our conversation here. I heard a statement. I'm not sure how true it is. I'm still looking out, but I was told that national government or the president is saying that people should get video camera to do what as a security. Would I help? If that statement is true, I just do not want to believe that. But I was told by prominent people that's scary. If that comes out here, then it is a clear indication that we're going to see worse than what we are seeing happening now.
Mr. So, we have been able to authenticate or verify that statement. But if it is true, then that means the government is waving a white flag to surrender. It means that they cannot rule the country. And every time I come on, no, people don't like my view, but I always say, I'm a free thinker, and I speak what I see is true. You may not like it, but that's the reality. We are in a country. The unemployment rate in Liberia, maybe someone can put it about 60 or 75%. And I was sitting at the other day, I was thinking, reading something. The most dangerous threat, the threat to Liberia now, is the unemployment of youth in the country. It is a major security issue now. The government may not be maybe looking at it, but that is a major security threat. Because when you have 60 or 70% of the population, young people not working, that is a security threat. Now, what is going on in Liberia? You see armed robbery. They're attacking people in the day, not night, but in the day. So imagine what happened in the night. But every time someone will come to say this, they say, oh, you're not in Liberia. You don't like the government. People stay in the street. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, people are all in the street of Monrovia. And you know that journalists from Monrovia have been on this program and that had repeatedly said, no, by 7 o'clock, people are rushing to go home. Even the taxi drivers are washing their car by the time to go home and pack. You don't see them in the street again like they used to do. So that is a sign that telling us that things are not right in the country. Now look at that OD your daughter went through. 16-year-old, 4 armed men forcibly entered the house.
There are 5.
5 with Mercedes. Thank God she survived, but you know the trauma now she's going to suffer from? The trauma now. How can she sleep sound? That maybe they might come back again. All the things play on people's mind. Psychological, it affects you. Emotionally, it affects you. Their learning ability become impaired with this kind of thing because you worry, you want to study, but you worry tonight if you go to bed, what will happen? Who will come? You don't know who the next person will come. So this is a serious issue. And I'm waiting to verify that if the president made that statement, hey, Mr. President, I just tell the Liberian people, y'all get ready. They're not ready, the government is not ready to protect you people. We don't have electricity. So how can people get security camera? Even if you had electricity, what happened to the man who had, they say, what 20 camera in here? And when people kill him, they cut the camera off. Even if you have camera, if someone is not banging at your door, you call the police. How would the police respond? Even though I bash the police sometimes, but I look at him so the police budget on Ellen.
They do not.
It was I think 17 million. This we are government called it 1 million. Where is the logistics? Where is the logistics for the police to perform? If you cutting the police budget from 17 to 1 million, you have decapitated the police. So how can the police combat crimes? Are they equipped to combat crimes? Someone get someone get AK-47 the mega battle. How can he go there to counteract to that man? They call you, they say, oh, we got gas. You call it, they say, we got gas. No carrier. Look, I'm seeing this. I'm not saying that we are government should do everything to perform miracle. But where the former government stopped, they're where they should start from to develop on it. But what they're doing now, we're regressing because you go and cut the budget from 17 million to 1 million. What is that? 5 million people. How can that police force, maybe 3,500 or to 3,000 to 5,000 men, can that police force protect the citizens of that country? No way. The other day, I wanted to show someone call from, I think, Maryland or something. They say in the whole district, I think, where the guy only one policeman. Can you imagine that?
In Mount Gibby?
Yes.
In Mount Gibby, I was told they have one patrol car, either one patrol, or it's just even insufficient to address all of the issues that are in the country. You know, I feel bad. You know, we shift blame, we blame the police, but if the logistics are not there, you can be like, you're a fisherman, you're swinging your arms, you say you're going to go, you're going out there. How you think you're going to put it out? Or you army man, you're going on the war front, and then you're swinging your arms. You expect to capture ammunition from the enemy before you can fight them. It just doesn't add up. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and you see, this is why sometimes I tell people, and people don't like me. I always say this: I bash the police, but also I defend the police because they are underfunded. So if they are underfunded, they will not perform. And we blame the central government. I saw several times they had called the police, the director of police, to Capitol building. They had pleaded with the national legislature that we don't have funding. The national legislature that's supposed to put the budget to go over the budget, they're not even putting money there. They're not telling Mr. President, no, this line here, you got to do enough for law enforcement because these are the people that protect us day and night. No, nobody is speaking for the police. You take $1 million and give the police to do what? Maybe even if you say the force of the police is 3,000, but what $1 million can do? Can $1 million? Is that logistics to equip the police for 5,000 something? Thousand? I mean, to protect those amount of people? No. The police is underfunded, and as a result, the citizen will suffer. This is what happened when the security forces are not equipped and prepared to carry on the function. The citizen will bear the price, and this is why your daughter, I'm sorry for her going through the ordeal, because the government is not funding the security apparatus that's supposed to protect them, and the government is taking the resources directly to area that they had no business putting it. It's sad for our people.
Okay, let's pivot to the point of discussions. I'm getting some information here, gentlemen, monitoring. Maybe because it seems like when people try to go inside library, say the unemployment. I'm getting a message here, text message. The gentleman is monitoring. I do not intend to call name because sometimes a lot of people, when they decide to go other people, you say I'm unemployed. Unemployment is a very serious issue in our country right now. And things are difficult to even get food. It's a serious problem in Liberia. When you eat for the day, then you have achieved. Can you imagine? If you eat for the day, so it's like, you know what is happening today. And I learned because I talked to my brother, the US dollar, the Liberian dollar is completely off the market. Okay, so let us not deviate because I don't want you to drag into this thing here. But this is exactly what folks, people, real-time people monitoring. And in Liberia, this is serious. But let's come to this topic. And
yeah, but let me just, we'll go to our topic. But here's the thing here. That's why I said, Mr. So right now, if you ask anybody, any security analyst, the problem to do Liberia now is the unemployment rate of the youth. That is the number one security threat to Liberia. And if the government is not careful, it will boil over one day, it will spill over. The unemployment rate of Liberia is unsustainable, especially among young people. And that is the major security threat today facing Liberia. If they don't know, they can be doing other moya, but that is the threat to Liberia. The unemployment rate of youth in our country is a serious security threat to the country. If you don't know, let me tell them today. So we can move on.
I don't think they are ignorant of that. They know because when the citizens, when people cannot sustain themselves, they can't even get something that their daily meal. You know they're going to go out there. Anything possibly they can do to forcibly get it. It is ridiculous. It is absurd. And then I think there was a story on our official website. One of the Reverend calls for the returns of A.B. Kalulu Kurma, who was a former deputy police chief for operation. And I think A.B., when he was at police headquarters as a deputy for operation, there was some sort of sanity, discipline. He was all out there. And he really went down, cracked down on these armed robbers. And this is where, because he has a skill, they are professionals, regardless of their own political affiliations. But I think we need people that really are up for the task and want national government can give them that support without being selective, or you have to be from this political institution, or you have to have ties with us before we can bring you into the system. Then it's a challenge. But I believe A.B. Kalulu Kurman, to from one time served as chief of staff, police operations. He was very, very much aggressive in pursuit of the crime that are in the country. Okay, so let's pivot a little bit. Hopefully we'll still have enough time. Yeah, Joy, I say food in Liberia today is today thing. I mean, these right here, let me see here. Funding food in Liberia is not today thing. I'm 43-year-old, so I know about Liberia. So I think that should be the last thing people should. And that's where the problem is. And the reason the food thing, before we come to our point, is part of the problem because we do not have accessible role. We are even telling people to go back to the farm. And it's not of George, we are President George, we are creation. For whatever reason, I just do not understand Liberians or our former president to prioritize that. And in the absence of having conducive roles, there's nowhere that the country, the reason America subdued Russia during those days is because of the same food. Russia could not feed herself. I don't know, they don't make reference to history. Any country that does not, or any country inability to feed itself, is a national security concern. We have things coming from Cote d'Ivoire, coming from Guinea, and we want to make big mouth. If they close their border, if they close their entrance, we can't do anything. People even in Sando, in Maryland, and other places, Lofa, who are trying to go back to the soil, the Lofians are very noted of that. They love the farming. Most of their children today who are prominent people, it is true that gardening, making gardens, selling the peppers, the beta ball. But if those people, what's the essence when you make those huge farming, you can't even get it to the vendors? Then what are you going to do? It's no sense. This is ridiculous. Let's go to our point here. You are a son of Bon County. I'm not sure why Danish is not on here. The link is already out to him here. But this story here was it being out there a little bit. That was November 7th editions on the official website of the Liberia Public Radio, where the We Are Led government begins withdrawing medical doctors at sign at Phoebe Hospital. That is something that I've claimed by citizens of Bon County concerned, which happens to be one of you. So, Mr. George, why should you be concerned with this? Is the national government making a withdrawal?
Yes, Mr. So, and not just me. When I read the story on a wire, I called few citizens from Bon County to express my concern. The people, what will happen to the people? And they said, well, they are already withdrawing the doctors, and that's the government position. And I said, but why? They said that the government said that they want to be on the board of the Phoebe Hospital. So if they cannot be on the board, then of course, they're now withdrawing the staff and taking them to the CB number hospital. And so I called another person again that close to the church, the bishop. I said, what's happening? I said, I know the church will not want to get into politics, so I don't want to, but you put that close to the church, what is happening? They said, oh yeah, they have been a problem. They had long been planning this thing, and now they have come to the point now to take the decision. But then I said, okay, well, what's about the people, the citizens of the country? What happened to them? So, well, the government had taken the decision, so I mean, that's it. So now the question that I start asking, maybe if the other people who join about thing will read a better time, some citizens from Bon County will also come on to express their concern. So I said, but why would the government do that? Is there no other way around? They said, well, it's this government, so that's it. So now the question I start raising here is that I was told that the government recommend all the administrators at the hospital to the board. The board then approve of those people to work to run the hospital. The board cannot dismiss the administrators. That is left with the Ministry of Health. So even if the doctor is there or the administrator, if they drink good or bad, once the Ministry of Health doesn't approve of it, you cannot move them. The board got no power to move those people. So I said, but then what is the need? Why are they insisting that they must get on this board? And the hospital was built when the other two churches have poured up. The Methodist and the Episcopal Church, they have poured up. So it had become a burden on the church to run the hospital. So the government came to assist. I said, fine. But then they made some concession that the government will appoint all the administrators. They agreed. But then now they are saying that they must be on the board. If they are not on the board, then they will withdraw all the support from the hospital and take it to the government hospital. Now, the question I'm asking, are the government hospital equipped to be a hospital? No. Only the Phoebe Hospital and the Bon Mine Hospital. The Phoebe Hospital is upper Bon. The Bon Mine Hospital is all the way down. So if you take the staff from the Phoebe Hospital, so that means there's no referral hospital again in Upper Bon. The CB Dunbar Hospital cannot do it. They can't do no surgical work there. So what happened to the lives of those people in Upper Bon, even in some part of Lower Bon, or coming from Nema or Lofa? What happened to those people?
Okay, let me here, Mr. George, and I hope we will have authority here. Then this is part of what we do here at LPR. It's not just only poking the eyes of the government, but every citizen, all of us have responsibilities, directly or indirectly, to also engage our local leaders, regardless of our own political differences. Is there a Bon County Association development, or is there any Bon County Association here in the USA?
There is a bunker association, but Mr. So let me tell you, the association is dead.
It's dead.
It's dead. Because you can't see anything. Now, when this news broke, I call a journalist in Banga, and hopefully he will come after this program. We'll work on moderator. He will come so he can elaborate on it. And I asked him, I said, what the authorities are doing? He said, there's no word for the elected officials. And I said, but how can this be happening in the country where the people's lives is at stake? And there's nobody from the country. He said, no, there's nobody elected official. Nobody has commented on this decision by central government. And the superintendent is part of the board. I have not heard no from the superintendent. I have not heard from the representatives. So then I said, what happened? So my question, I'm wondering, why you elect people?
So let me ask you here, and this is part of the problem for which it is not a justification here. There are other statements here coming from the government version, the reason why they are withdrawing here. So I'm going to go back to A here. But let us hold ourselves a little bit accountable here to all of the prevailing situations in the country based on the information that I'm hearing from you. And I've said this over and over, our failure on our part to engage our people. Also, they won't listen to us. They won't see us as anybody making an impact to them, even though some of them you have a Bond County Association here. The essence, most of the time, if you talk to these different organizations, my own Graduate Association, all of these millions of organizations here, we have these organizations for the good of our people. We want to help our people. We want to help our people. So if I'm hearing that association that should intercede, should mediate with the citizen, the elected officials and all partners within the county is in coma or is dead, it doesn't give hope to the people.
No, Mr. So, I mean, you follow me, and other people know me. 2017, when the money comes in Koboya district, pricing the water that the people are drinking, front page carried the story, 2017, on video. I was yelling over my head, calling for people, for officials to intervene. Why are these people being treated like that from Koboya district? Where Senator Yala come from? 2017, I was yelling. Nobody. The pricing the people water, even crops will die from the front page carried the story. I was on different platforms, speaking on behalf of the people. Why our people should be treated like, and you have elected officials sitting in the country not even saying anything. Then why these people give you power? Why you go there for power for you to represent them? Because these people are all corrupt. They are in the pockets of these people. So they don't seek the people interest. Once the people give them power, that's it. The only time they will come back maybe after the 6 years going to end or the 9 years, then they come back. And this is why you see them master everything in Bond County again. They say all very corrupt people. All then, look, let me make this very clear. I may not call, I will not speak, I will not say anything today about the vice president because she just returned from a health trip. And I understand that she has some issue dealing with some bereaved issues. So I may not say anything about her. I will respect her for that. So I don't want people to, I'll be calling some names here. And someone will say, oh, why are you not calling this person name? And that's the only reason I will not call the vice president name on this program tonight, because I must give her that respect, even though I got some disagreement with politically, but I have to give her the respect. That she just returned home, and her friend died, so she's got a whole lot to cope with. I'm not going to call her name, anything to say anything about her on this platform. But the rest of the people, I'm going to say something about them. So let me make that clear to those who are listening, because someone will say, oh, why he not calling this person name? So that's it. So let me make that clear. So, Mr. So this is the issue here. Now it comes down to Phoebe Hospital. The government has put her support. So now, if Phoebe is charging for people that goes there for surgical treatment to pay that money before it can be serviced, what will happen to those people? And if they don't have that money? So these are the dangerous things our people facing in the country. You have elected officials sitting down there and allow the government to take such a decision. Are they not thinking about the life of the people? The Dunbar hospital is not equipped to do any surgical work. So if the government pull off a staff from TB hospital and they say they're going to redirect the resources to the government institution, where is the government institution? Are you expecting someone to leave from Bangladesh to travel all the way behind Kankatan to go to Bon Mines for treatment? For a surgical treatment? What sense does that make? Look, I understand they're having some problem. But that decision, it was wrong and it is wrong. And I expect the leader of one country to stand up, to man up to the government. You have Representative Marvin Cole, who is from that very district, Bangladesh. You have Henry Yala. They are all there.
So, so then let me ask you, all of these people, you have Henry Yala now, who is in the political race, even though he says some ridiculous things the other day with Marvin Cole, who said he's going to use his capital, his finances, to dish out money, because those who can dish out money because they just do not have it. And I saw people in a crowded building, they were clapping, they were cheering. And my guess is out of ignorance, because they do not know the long-term goal to faith. Those people are dishing out money instead of then asking them the tough questions, the substantive questions, why they want, why he seeking to re-election. You see people doing that. Can we hold you guys? Can we hold the citizen here in the from Bond County here in the U.S. also responsible? Because if they have the organization here that is not engaging with the citizenry, then they are all in the regular facilitating these people to make wrong decision, because you alone talk, and if you tell them, say, don't vote for this person, first of all, you are not making impact into their daily lives, into their life situation, reality, real living situation in the country. They will not listen to you.
No. And this is why I said, because, you know, when these things happen, sometimes I call one or two persons, I know permanent people from Bon County, I call them here. The organization is dead. They called the person, let me say, I called the president, and the president is not even thinking about what you're talking about. And I said, but then, why are you people are here? And look at the people. I mean, some of them come here, risking everything to speak on our people's behalf. Okay, but you got the people who are in leadership, either their friends or relative in power, so they cannot say anything. Let me give you one example. Marvin Cole. He told the people, say, when he was going to be elected, he was going to make Bangladesh like Dubai.
You're going to make Bangladesh?
Seriously, you are going to make Bangladesh like Dubai. It's on tape.
Is that on the basis of making Bangladesh Dubai? That's why he was elected?
Seriously. Now, look, here's the thing here.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the thing here. He came and said that he will electrify Bangladesh City. I follow him. So he had a company, they said, oh, 30,000 would be available to buy lights and electrify the city. And few guys start asking, where is the money coming from? He said, oh, the people came here during the time they were doing those all exploration work thing. And they were my friend, I met them, we talked, and I wanted to put forward, and they said, yeah, they were going to give the money available. They were going to make the money available. So that's where the money coming from. The light, but quite recently, we wanted to know that the 30,000 now was taken out of the Bon County Development Fund. It was taken out of the cover of the Bon County Development Fund.
Let's come home. Let's address here a little bit. Let's come here. I don't want us to mix apple and oranges here, but they are all surrounding Bon County, which is now. This is why it's going on now, and this is a statement here. Let me read this statement here. Our own correspondent Belton Tino also reported this here. But this is what is coming from the government. The government of Liberia has withdrawn to assign medical doctors at Phoebe Hospital, Bon County. Liberia Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Keita said that confirmed the reasonings of government employed medical doctors at Phoebe to refer hospital to different hospitals in reaction to the alleged refusal of the hospital board of Bow to offer slots to the government for appointments and key decision. So you better know this here. I think it's better to dive into this much deeper here. The Phoebe Hospital, is it owned by government, or is it subsidized by government, or is it is under the subsidy of others, other firm outside of the government's working preview? What is the deal?
The Phoebe Hospital was built and is owned by the church, the Lutheran Church. They were at the time was the Episcopal Church and the Methodist Church.
Are they still Are they still? Do you know whether they are still for?
No. The Methodist Church and the Methodist and Episcopal Church have pulled out because they have their own institution now
and turn it over
to the Lutheran Church. So the hospital is exclusively owned by the Lutheran Church. But when the institution, when it was pulled out, the government came and said, okay, we will help. And in that, the government normally, they gave the government the authority to appoint the administrator of the hospital. So if you look at the day-to-day running, is done by the government, because those that they appointed is confirmed by they are confirmed by the board. But the board doesn't have the authority to dismiss another people, Mr. So only the government. So now, why is that they are insisting that they must be on the board? What kind of decision do you want to make again?
You know, I tried like to catch up in the past with the hope that he will appear, and I will try to make a follow-up now. We are getting a little detail. Concerned citizens of Bond County are speaking out, addressing this now, hopefully to get a better insight so as to give them the fair share. So I'm wondering here is whether the Lutheran has the capacity to provide fundings, because the government will come in now. And they said they wanted to also appoint the board member to be part of the administrators of the hospital. And the hospital, they are refusing. I think that's where this whole thing here. That's another power struggle in itself. We want to be part of it. You are unable to do it. We said, no, we don't want you to meddle into the affairs of this institution here. It's maybe privately owned, or it's not on it's not being subsidized by government. So I don't know what our government is trying to step in to take charge of this hospital.
That is the motive. That's what they want to do now. Because
so let's assume government wants to do that. What is the danger do you forecast or you see if government wants to? Now the people are coming. You're going to respond. Let's do it fairly here. Mm-hmm. Now the people that were in charge, for whatever reason, they left with the left Methodists, turn it over to Lutheran. My guess coming to this point here, Lutheran inability to upkeep the running of the hospital makes government now to step into, say, well, this is what we want to do. Don't you think it's good to give them the benefit of the doubt to see whether they can handle it? What do you think? What is the danger involved?
No, Mr. So the church did not receive. The church made some concession. The church said, okay, you can appoint all the administrators to run the hospital. The church did not resist that because they are contributing immensely to the hospital. So the church said, okay, you can appoint all the administrators. You got the power to dismiss them. We don't have the power. You can refer them to us and we'll confirm them. We don't have the power to dismiss them. So even if the man is there, he's not performing, the board cannot dismiss that person. The board cannot remove them. It's only the government that can remove that person. But they want to go one step forward now to taking the church, taking the hospital from the church. Because now they are saying that they must have slots on the board. And it has some political motive. Because I was told that the chairman of the board and I think the doctor and some representative elected people don't get along. So now they want to use the government leverage now to take over the hospital. That's why I call it.
You see, people always entice their own political or individual differences with institution. And that's where the problem is always coming from. By, hey, we must set apart institution, the functionings of an institution must be set apart differently. If Amos Georgia is a contributor of LPR, Alfonso Soy here is an angot of LPR, Samson Toll, station manager, Nat Kripo, Manzola Gisi, and all of the folks back there. Whatever differences that we have, outside of the scope of LPR, I don't think it should be in any way brought into or be incited into the functionings of LPR. Whatever thing we have out there, let it be. It should not be dragged into the functionings of LPR. That's the problem that we have had over and over, not just within government, with institutions and organizations here. If Mr. A and Mr. X have their own personal issue within the organization, believe me, it happened in South Africa, they will drag it right here in the USA, and it will eventually pollute the functionings of that organization. Do you think these lawmakers, are they doing the right thing? Don't you think they are the ones supposed to step into, even if government says they want to come in? I doubt what our government would do it, but to clear the benefit of the doubt, we have JFK, we have other hospitals still are struggling, but the government is just a government. Don't you think that these people must lay the framework to have a conversation and even engage with their very constituencies? This is what national government is saying. They don't go for research to have a conversation with these people. They said in Monrovia, from Monrovia to Banga is paved. So it's inexcusable. It's not like folks from Maryland, from Sino, from Grand Gila to say, okay, we can get there. We should not even be excused in the first place. But these people are surmised that they do not even sit with their people to tell them, this is what is happening. This is what the government wants to do. What can you do? What is your side of the story? What is your suggestion? What is your idea? They don't.
Yeah, and that is why, Mr. So, I'm so annoyed. Let me say this. The church, because I have spoken to some people close to the church has her own issue. There are some financial issues the church is having also. Granted. But for the government to reach at this point to say, if we cannot get a slot on the board, we are pulling on our support. And we're taking our personnel from the hospital. And knowing very well that the hospital, the CB Dunbar Hospital in Bangkok, is not equipped to do any surgical work there. The only one is in Lower Bone County. So what is the thinking of those representatives who coming from Bone County or the senators who coming from that area? What is their thinking?
Okay.
Why they cannot sit down with the church and the government to reach some agreement?
Okay. Yes, a comment here. I want to displace the comment here so I will get your reaction here. You know the traditions of Liberia Public Radio. As long as there's no profanity into their sessions, their opinions, we have no problem. So this is Mr. Dixon Gongwat. Mr. Dixon Gongwat say, oh, you respect the vice president, but you disrespect other guys because they do not go your way. You respect the vice president because she bribed you. Well, little thing, that's why you are not going to call her name. And you're not someone for people to take serious. Now, this is quite interesting, Mr. Gongwa. Okay, so Mr. George.
Yeah, and you see, yes,
from the district, but I believe every Liberian has the right to.
Oh yeah.
To form part of the discourse here. We always like to keep it proportional. So the VP gave you letting?
No, Prime Minister Gongwa doesn't know me. Let him follow me on Facebook. I go after the vice president. But what I say here, I said she had just returned from abroad on a sick leave. And I learned that her friend died and she's bereaved. So in regards to that, I will not come here to talk about her. Mr. Gongwa is entitled to his view, but I will not do it. It is not the culture of the Pele people. We have culture that if somebody died from you, whatever plan you have with that person, you cannot say anything about that person until the bereavement is over. So I will not come here to say anything about the vice president now. But on my previous video on podcast, I have been going after I have my disagreement with her. So, Mr. Gongwa, let me just make you to understand. I met the vice president once. She came to Atlanta one time. And I think that was 2013 or 12. And since I never have any communication with her office. So I'm not someone that you think will take bribe to betray my people. Since 2017, I have been speaking for the people of Bon County. So no amount of money will sway me to change my view when things are not going right. So let me just make that clear. If she was not bereaved and she just returned home after being sick with the COVID-19, I would have had something to say about her role, but I will not say it, sir. So that's my comment on that.
So do you think the message is resonating?
Well, people, it may take time. But the question I always say, I don't want history to ask me tomorrow, where were you when this was going on? What did you say? So that's why when something happened in Bon County, not just Bon County, Liberia as a whole, I come out to speak what is true. And what has happened to our people is not right. The elected officials of our county, they have let our people down. The Henry Yala, Esther Walker, the Mervyn Cole, the Prince Moyu, the Dr. Tokba, who I respect, highly respect. I thought he's supposed to be the most senior person in the country.
Responsible for that? What is responsible all of these people? You count all of those people who are current actors into the political process of Bon County, and you are saying that all of them have disappointed you. So it means there's no name in the bucket that we can easily extract. What is responsible for that?
It's like an interest in the people. They are all self-driven. It's all about themselves. Mr. Sol, during the Ebola crisis, I didn't see the official of Bon County, the caucus to get together and decide this is the plan that will help our people. It did not happen. You saw individuals carrying buckets here and there, distributed to a certain group of people. But what about the countries?
You guys, the citizen in the Americas here too, and I'm hearing that the organization is dead. Why you guys did not use that time during the crisis to resurrect that organization to also to make an intervention? So you are also partly responsible to the filling process in Bon County. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, but you see, Mr. Toh, here's the thing: there are people who vie for the leadership, and the people elect them. Like I told you, something serious come out, I will take phone and call one or two persons because I'm not close to the leadership of Bon County, but I know people who are close to them. So I will call the person, call people.
Why are you not close? Have you made yourself available and you were rejected? Why are you not close to the leadership?
Oh, but Mr. Toh, we are in the States, and people sometimes don't listen to certain people in the community. So
when you say certain people, who are the certain people?
I'm one person who is always contributing to many organizations. I don't have money, but I can send $5 or $10. But when you assume leadership, it's a responsibility to recruit the people from the country. But that's why you ask for power. If these people are not recruiting people, like take for granted the Grand Association, look at what you did the last time. They had different chapters. It was COVID time, but they had this Zoom thing. Everybody was there, different areas. Why our people who are in leadership, why can't they initiate such a program? Especially at the time when the country needs you most. There's the gentleman that I make sure because with some arrangement, but I show you a peer. This is one man I follow in the States. His name is Dene Kameshi. This man, so
yes, also stories has come out from our correspondent from I didn't even know why he was here in the USA, but he has made numerous interventions, medical relief, at his own volitions, donation in all forms and shape. To Bon County. It is amazing, this guy here. We actually set up something, but we have not had a chance to have this sort of conversation here. And that's only one person. And here you are one of those. You have all the other citizens from Bon County who are not even addressing or making an attempt to address the plight of the citizens of Bond County, but yet you guys will try to interfere into the political process to allow them to make a choice of a particular candidate or not to I support this candidate. They won't listen to you people. They will see you as a noise maker.
Now let me say something about this Mr. Dennis Ganeshi. Online got in touch with him one time. This man had drugs sitting down in Monrovia, Mr. Soul, just for the people to come from the country to pick it up from Monrovia. They couldn't do it. I had to take the telephone and call the assistant superintendent. I said, this man got the drugs in Monrovia free. He's seen that he can't keep it in his warehouse. Why you cannot bring logistics where they say, oh, we're going? Beside that, when I spoke to Mr. Dennis Ganeshi, Mr. Ganeshi said, look, I can supply all the clinics in Bond County 1 year with drugs free, no charge.
So let me ask you, have you introduced this element on the administration yet? The Bond County Association that you claim is there now. Have you introduced into the Bond County Association yet?
No, I just met Mr. Ganeshi this year, but he's well known by all these people. You call him because they say, oh yeah, we know him.
Mr. George Toto, is he the leader or the board of directors? Member of the board? George Toto.
I don't know what Mr. Toto.
But he's a permanent
man. And I speak to Mr. Toto. Mr. Toto and myself, we are somehow related. So I speak to him frequently. I call him. We talk.
And what did he say?
Well, I mean, those are private conversations, so I don't want to put it out here. But
outside of Bond County affairs?
No, it's all relating to Bond County. But
then what make it private? It's Bond County affairs. So what makes it private?
Yeah, well, I know there are certain things so now you don't want to say on the air right now until maybe I can get his permission. Then I can say it. But in fact, I told him just the other day again about Phoebe Hospital. Because when anything happened, that one of the person I called, one of the first person I called, because I know he's very close to the church and the leadership of the country. So especially those in America and the church in Liberia, very close. He's a very staunch member of the church. So I called someone to get his guidance. What happened? Why this happening?
So let's use Bond County here, Mr. George. Let's use Bond County as a case study here to the rest of the other 14 political subdivision. I'm not sure all of these counties they do have organization here, but I for sure I do know that there are tons of proliferations of organization here, so whatever name, whatever county, whatever district of that. Are we really engaging our community, our county, our regions, our districts, our own constituents? It should be in the diaspora. Do you think we are effectively doing that?
Well, I don't want to speak for every county, but the Bond citizens know the leadership don't engage the community at that level. These people occupy the position for political purposes, to gain political recognition, to gain political power. That's why they occupy this position. Most of the people that you see that go for the positions, their motive is to be recognized, then go back home to get some job from government. That is their sole aim. It's not there to seek the interest of the people. Let me tell you, let me go back to Mr. Ganeshi. Mr. Ganeshi, he got in touch with some same representatives, elected people. He introduced them to an organization, a company in Minnesota. But the people said they wouldn't do business with government people who could manufacture hospital equipment. So you see how this man is going that far, engage the county official on these things. And yes, the saddest thing, Mr. Soul, all this contribution that man is making to the county. Now, one government official ever called him to say thank you. Nobody recognized that man. The other day, Mr. Ganeshi donated three drum of fuel out to Phoebe Hospital. Drugs, every time the men shipping continue, there are drugs there for the hospitals. When the people receive it, they don't even have the audacity to call him to say thank you. Including the government official who knows that this man is man's contribution to the country.
Just bear with us yet. I think his from his end there is full.
Yes, and that one I'm hoping. But I sure by this week next week, I want Mr. Dennis Ganishi to come so people can see him because he's all on Facebook. But I want to come, let him come to explain. And I really admire this man.
Actually, to be honest, pretty close to a year plus since our correspondent started reporting. We got in touch and he started reporting from Bond County. This guy, his family, and I mean they are visual, they are evident to things that he have because he sent that, he didn't send them to me here. I've not. I think we just met, we chatted 1 or 2 times and stuff. But those things that he sent, the pictures, the images came from Banga directly to us here, and they are on the official website of the Liberia Public Radio. His intervention with respect to what he's been doing for the county, that just one single person, and you have other group of people who are just don't care, but in one political intervention comes election that to talk to the, and I've said this over and over, and it goes to all of us. If we cannot make an impact into our own villages, our own town, and we think time for elections that we want to take phone and tell people, oh, don't vote for that man because that man bring you rice and this, we waste our time. The man that married get 4, 5, 6 children hanging on him. The children needs to eat. The woman needs to be taken care of. And you have these politicians who is coming with this sort of gift, free gift. That look at this message from this gentleman from Liberia. I don't know him. He said, "Oh, I'm following you." But for a man, I mean, for a grown man, he called his age. Let me just go back to this message here. This is touching. He, to come to say that he's unemployed. And it's a very serious issue in our country right now. And things are difficult to even get food. It's a serious problem. When a man can come out to say to even get food to eat is a problem, then you must know there are tons of other stories behind that.
Yes, and this is why the politicians take advantage of the citizenry because they know that these people are desperate. And politicians got 2 characters. When they're seeking power, they are relatable. They are kind. When they get power, they are too basic, too many expensive. I can't reach you now. This is what they do. And because they know that the people are poor, so they abuse the people. They take advantage of the people. When election comes, they call 1 or 2 persons of my man. They are $20. Bring your man, I get $20, $10 for photo card. My man, I can give $5, I'll go buy 1 bag of red today. And that man going to spread the news. I mean, you got to vote for that man. You want chop, you got that man, you got to make your day. And I get it. But the question here is why these people continue to abuse their own people? Why? They don't seek the interest of the people. Look at the hospital. You pull all the medical doctors from there. Simply, they just say, "Oh, we cannot give you a slot on the bowl." Now, is that important than the life of the people you represent? As a representative, is that important that if the government doesn't have a slot on the bowl, so they will pull the doctor in the hospital? So what happened to those people who cannot afford money to fly out of the country? What happened to them? Where their faith lies? Now, how can you say that you are a representative of the people? You are quiet. You don't see anything. But you go into the people who gave you power again. And sometimes, on the other hand, I said to Mr. To, let me die poor with my name than for me to get rich and no good name. But these people don't think on it. They continue to impoverish the people. They continue to use the people because of the late dollar they're getting today. What happens if these people are not healthy? How can you have a vibrant society when the people are not healthy? When the people cannot have access to good medical care, how can you say that society is vibrant? Today, there was a report on Bond County that more women die in maternity birth More women in Bone County die in maternity birth. Now you are taking the data from Phoebe Hospital, which is the only referral hospital in Upper Bone. So what happened to those women when there's a critical case? Where will you get them? When the CP Dunbar Hospital cannot handle these cases, where will you carry those people? This is my argument I'm making. Where will you carry those people? Why do you could not stand in?
Yeah, so we are having a conversation now. What next? Let me recognize somebody that is watching here. A good follower of Liberia Public Radio. By the way, I had a beautiful birthday celebrations. Men moving, men driving. Even though things are doing, but hey, other people are doing hard. They are moving on with their life. People, you don't have to wait for people to make you to get happy. You gotta make yourself happy. So, Madam by Doris Kate is one of our followers on the Liberia Public Radio, celebrated her birthday beautifully yesterday in the country. So, back to our talking point here. So, what next? Are you coordinating with the lawmakers? Are you talking to the leaders at the hospital? What is the current conditions of the hospital? Who is in charge? Is it the GOL? Is it the Lutheran? Who is running or conducting?
It is the Lutheran hospital that are now they have taken the hospital, because when I spoke to one of the journalists there, that he said the people they are polar completed, they're not dead. So it means that the Lutheran now have the hospital full because the government have polar completed. And the question I said, but what the elected officials are saying? He said they are completely silent. So it means that they have already sided with the government, not with the people.
Do you agree with that? Because I don't think you're in support of the government taking charge. Are you happy over that?
No, I'm not happy with the government taking charge. But what I said is that the government, they have the power to appoint everybody that run the hospital. So why are you insisting that you must be on this board? What is there that what this board is doing that is not right, that is not helping the hospital? Why can you come up to tell the citizenry that the reason I want to do this? Because the only reason they gave in, they said that because they are the larger contributor to the hospital.
Mr. George. Mr. George.
Yeah.
I yet to know the function specifically with the hospital in terms of what the board does, but I know the board provide check and balances to the administrative functions of any institutions. They are also there. Unfortunately, within most of our siting here, board member, they don't just get to be a board member. You must be somebody who even have contact. Board must be able to solicit. That's what I see. Most of these organizations, they read a board are people who they have the connection outside. Their job there is to make sure to bring fundings, to look for folks to find funding for the institution. But people just want to be board member to occupy or to see it like a ceremonial position. That's not a job of a board. The board is the bedrock of the institution. Go out there to solicit help, to bring funding. Because if you board member, you just sit down, you think the organization or the group, the administration going to function, that's lie. So why are they not allowing the GOL to be part of the board? Because they also want to provide check and balances. Is that a wrong idea?
Okay, Mr. So let's put it this way. You the managing director of Lpr.
Mm-hmm.
The board is there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another group that recommend you to the board to approve for you to run the station. The board doesn't have the power to dismiss you. Only the group, the group that recommended you, they are the one that have the power to dismiss you. Now, then they say, okay, what happened? We want to be on the board of Lpr. What is the reason? They say, oh, because we put in more money, so we got to be on the board. Okay.
Yes.
Is there any discrepancy with the running from the board that you're telling us? We have not seen anything. The only justification given that they want to be on the board. Now, when people get on the board of this organization, they are paid board fees. They are paid board fees, and they're not making any contribution. How many organizations in Liberia that you are aware that you saw the board going outside to look for funding to bring in to run that organization? No. What they do is that they want to have series of board meetings so they can be paid for a certain time. And this thing, let me say it, this thing is being orchestrated by the Ministry of Health, with the Minister Jala. This, I would say, it's being orchestrated by Wilhelmina Jala and her cohorts to take over the Phoebe Hospital from the church.
Do you have evidence of that in your session?
But who has the power to withdraw data from the hospital? It's only the Ministry of Health. Because it's the Ministry of Health that is signed in there. And it's the Ministry of Health that can pull them from there.
Release here, they are appointing administrators as well. So don't you see them their inclusions into the process, or do you think they are going over the board? They are stepping beyond their scope, or what?
What I'm telling you, what I suspect, they want to take over the hospital. They appoint the administrator, they appoint the medical director. Everything is appointed by the government. And these people cannot be dismissed by the board, Mr. So only the government can dismiss people.
Why are you worried of like UOL taking over the hospital? What is the fear? What is the apprehension?
Mr. So, JFK, what government like Liberia ever ran good? Look at JFK. Tell me one hospital around the counties in Liberia that the government ever ran good. The hospital in Basel, Grand Gideon, the people are not crying for drugs. They are not crying. I think Grand Gideon, there are 2 medical doctors. So why government is so worried to intrude into this board of the Lutheran Church?
Do you think there are some other motives far beyond that you and I don't know that they are trying to get to?
So let me tell you 1 or 2 things. They want to take control. They figure that the late money that the government put in as subsidy for the hospital, they figure that this money, maybe the boy eating the money. So they want to get them to get their share. That's one. Secondly, they don't like certain people on that board. So the only thing they can do now to strangulate the church is to pour their personnel out. But it's not about the church. My argument is about the people of the country. Why am I accusing Wilhelmina Jara? Because she is the one that appointed the medical director, the chief medical officer of people. She is the one acquired with authority to appoint those people to recommend it to the board for approval.
I think what we're going to do, we're going to step beyond this. We'll get in touch with our correspondents in Banga, Bon County, to see if we can have the board chairperson, Tonilat Vapiat, hopefully here will be willing to speak out to get to the bottom line of this here. If any reasons you have this person's contact from your end, also help us, and we will help to facilitate that to see we can bring that to give a fair share to really get the inner part. So with all of this that is unfolding, and you are in the vanguard, being very forceful, speaking out loudly in the sense that the story will be heard for people to know what's going on. Let me see here whether there's a call here. Hello, caller.
Sir.
Hello.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. Are you calling to participate in the program?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay, thank you. I forgot. I don't know why I've not put a number, but I thank you for keeping that number. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Christiana Wilson. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm the former protection officer of Lutheran World Service, and I just want to give my input on the villages I work in and how close in the hospital or if the people don't have service, the impact it will have on the government.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you so much for even calling. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Christina Wilson, former protection officer of Lutheran World Service. I just called to say that I work in most of the villages in Bon County.
Okay.
If you go to a village like Banga Saikore, you go to Joestown, you go to Gapley,
and
you go around, you know very well that the people are suffering. I sit there and cry because I work in 14 counties, and I know certain areas we will go and stop and walk for hours, 1 or 2 hours, to get service to the people. Wow. If we're going to do workshop or we're going there to to do awareness on protection issue. And you know that Phoebe Hospital is in Central Monrovia,
right?
Central and Liberia. And most of the people in government, even if the vice president from Bon County, and she knows the importance of the hospital. So even if the government doesn't do nothing, those who left the villages came to America and are enjoying themselves. Can they just put a few boxes or drugs together and send it to the people in the villages? Because if we live with government, I tell you, from government to government, Liberia, we just got to keep praying for that country and let it go on a deliverance. So I know what the people are going through. If you go to Banga Shaikore, I tell you, you will shed tears. I'm talking about Joestown, Kapley area there. So we don't have to wait for UN.
Yeah. So
to
thank you so much for even calling in. These are the kind of conversations that we want to have. Whereas we not just only poking fingers in the eyes of the government. We want to do it both ways. We hold ourselves responsible and discuss these issues with civility, so that with the hope for people to listen. You are a living witness, like you just rightfully alluded to, going through all of these places, seeing what is happening right now. What is the danger? What is the downside of it? If nothing is done, if they cannot come to a settlement, and I hope to get in touch with the board presidents and some of the leaders. The only frustrating thing is some of these people, you call them, you take off time, they don't want to appear, they don't want to say anything. So it makes it very difficult for us to know their side of the story. But just from the surface of it, and you being a person who have gone through that, what is the danger if nothing is done? The name Phoebe, from our childhood, we've been hearing the name of that hospital. And it's not only servicing people of Bon County, people go in transit, anything can happen during travel, and Phoebe is there to save lives.
Yeah, Phoebe, the Lutheran Church, the Lutheran organization responsible. But if you reach to the place after you have gotten through with the emergency aspect of Liberia, and you're talking about development, and you're looking at the dam on the go, the resources are in that country. Liberia, one of the richest countries in the world when it comes to resources. So you got the expert, you got the white people, when they come, they look at us and they just feel discouraged. So now that we are harming ourselves, sir. We have everything to make Liberia #1 in the world. But now you have a network of greedy people working together. Don't mind any Bon County leader will tell you, say, I love my people. They will never go to those villages at campaign time. I'll tell you for free. They will never go there. And the wickedness of the wicked that I see is that they don't give the people access to information. So the people in the village dying, they don't have radio, they don't even know what you are saying right here for them.
Wow.
That's why they cry. So when they go there and they carry a few bags, I pray day and night and I curse people and I swear people because the presence of Deuteronomy 28 will always go on. The dealers, after from government to government, they will always beg for bread. I have not seen a one rich Liberian leader. Nobody in Liberia can say, I am rich. Because if you say you got small money and your whole generation starving, your background, your great, you're not rich. Even those who in America, the so-called Liberians that came here to hustle, they're not even going back to those villages that they went through and drank water from the creek. We are wicked to ourselves, brother.
Wow.
Our brother on the show can put some people together from Bon County. Those are reached to the place of self-actualization and say, government or not, we are carrying hospital material to Phoebe. We are going this place. I can't help my daughter on medical. But the little that I'm back there trying to see if I can get 1 or 2 boxes of food to my people. Every time somebody bless me, I think about who. You got people here in the basement, they got everything that you think people need in the villages.
They throw them out.
The basements around America, yes.
They
people go to cope all the road competition with cars. So I don't get there with government. I pray against the government. I angry with the government. But I tell you for free, the Liberians that got things in the basement in America, if they put it together, people will not be in the villages suffering, brother.
Yeah, and then you agree. Yeah, exactly. That's a valid point. Then you agree with my point.
One day we discuss about the basement. They have their topic.
Okay.
And see how many people will cry. Okay. They don't have their topic.
Yeah, we are open to it. I saw somebody wrote
go in the room, go in the pantry.
I saw somebody wrote a comment here one day for us to talk about something. I think something before I told that down. Yeah, we are open to conversation. It's not every time. I don't look, honestly, we talk about politics because it's the greater portions of our life in Liberia. But those people, all of those people that I don't believe in them yesterday, I don't believe in them today. All of them, opposition, imposition, all of them, they are the same people. They're just becoming so nice now because they are looking for state power. But believe me, when we give it to them after for that now years is guaranteed. They will never resign, even when they do wrong. When they do anything bad, they will never to resign. If they can't, even these people, the killing of people going on now, and these people who wants to be senator, then they all campaigning. They can't even say for 30 minutes to address this sort of national concern. I give up.
Yes,
they're not serious.
Yes,
they're not. They don't care.
Our judge, we are prefect, sir. Our his prefect in Nancy in West. So we are knows me well. Charles, we are knows me well. Our his prefect 9th grade
in Wellston.
I tell you in Wellston, but I cannot work in Georgia government. Everybody I talk to that work in our government, those who are greedy, some of them are still there, and those who are smart, they telling me today, thank you. I serve as camp manager in Jatolo, over 27,000 IDP. We work with DDR. We have labored in Liberia. We went in Nima country, I worked in 100 and some more villages. But I tell you that the people that we got in government, now they are heartless. Wow. They are heartless. Because guess what? They are also very poor background. 90% of citizens, they suffer more than you myself, brother. And they are wicked more than any other government I ever seen. Call my name, say my name. Say my name. Call my name. They are wicked. They are wicked. Being that they get the resources now, go see the Fulanese, go see the Lebanese, see the people holding resources from these villages. Come and give our people leaders, government leaders, so-called peanuts. They damn going, they go going. You see weekend in Liberia here, brother.
Wow.
You see weekend. I tell you, I work in 14 counties in 100 some more villages. I have not seen wicked government like this government. Because all of them poor, all of them suffer, all of them gapping.
So what, Pa George, I'll be coming to you. You know, this is quite fascinating. What is the reason these people came from nowhere and it becomes, and that's what I say, you know, this sort of change, if we don't know the kind of change that we'll look for, the victim becomes the victor and the victor becomes the victim. These are people who knows today, why are they doing that to their people? What is the reason for that?
It's scriptural. If at all, the wicked are in authority, the people grow. The Bible says in Proverbs, when the wicked men rule, the people suffer. Because the people are blind. Men of joy, we are going from county to county, going from refugee camp to refugee camp, giving thousands of dollars to the people, going and playing football, calling the young people, giving them money. So if the men of joy, we are can't say, I want to be president, and look at our heading, we're putting everybody through. You see her international contact, and yet people still suffering. Just got a big knee out there in Liberia, everybody gapping. So what joy we are came. See from Sando County, Sapo cool woman. That woman in the hospital for joy we are. Nobody can talk about joy we are. She said, I want country son. I want country son. I told them, I said, you're wasting your time. I'm telling you, I know George Weah. A George Weah can keep speech from all his friends there that he made power away in the 80s. You think that the man will can't be president and remember who? When he angry? I said, watch and see. Man, let mother not cry in her grave because she voted the first time for George Weah. I'm telling you. George Weah is a government official. They have taken oath. They are so tired. And they are desperate for power, and either will do anything and act that they're not hearing the people. This is so spiritual. He knows. He knows that the people are crying. He knows they are grooming. So he knows.
Let me, just hold on, don't go away. I want to get, so if anybody says anything to the contrary to what we are saying, you have the opportunity to respond. But before I go to the next caller here, so this, or why is happening now based on your explanation, you don't see as a surprise of what is unfolding right now? You knew that was going to happen? Is that what you're telling us?
I didn't see it as a surprise because we're right in the classroom, all our friends in, Bernice Diva, all the children will tell you, Felicia Nimlin, all the others sat in 9th grade. My prefect told me, Sylvester Johnson, when the first time he played for Muslim Congress, he put his phone on the desk. I put his knee down, and our sponsor for the class, Sylvester Johnson, came and beat him. And since that time, he kept speech for me till today. And all those friends that he ever have, every time he see me, we are enemy. And I told him, I said, I'm going further. I went you and I work with Lutheran World Service, I work with Red Cross, I work with Lpr-Tv, and I've been holding social a managerial position, either manager or a supervisor. So this is a man that came from nowhere. He does not have the educational background. He only used his fame to get to power. So if you get men like Maputo, Nipan, who's smart leader, who are genius working with him, you always feel marginalized. You always feel inferior to the people. So most of the smart people in the government, Judge Ria is angry with them. When you want proof, I gave you a job. You can tell me, say you're smarter than me. Like me now, he can never give me a job. That foundation is not there.
Supposed to ask you now to go serve your country. Will you do that?
Guess what? If you check on Corporation Civil Incorporated, after I worked with All Mill and I saw thousands and thousands, I was the assistant care manager in Bonn and Carry. And those children came traumatized with on drugs, and there was no good rehabilitation program. Lutheran World Service wrote the government. And guess what? Nobody pay attention to rehabilitation. That's why you see most of the people pre-Johnson, all the people in government that didn't do rehabilitation, so they're giving the country a hard time. If you have not done rehabilitation after holding arm for 10, 12 years, whether you are traumatized.
Wow. Okay.
So I got courageous people. I used to go from graveyard to feed the children. Ask anybody in Liberia. Say, who the woman that used to feed those drugs are they? If you go to Courageous People Incorporated, you will see. My daughter got attacked that I came to America earlier. But my desire was to build the first rehabilitation in Liberia. We started gathering blacks. And I wanted to disgrace John Weir. I wanted to disgrace even the Taylor man. Costa had me on his show before. I was going to disgrace them to build the first rehabilitation center. Many of you were going to send one black, and we started with going about 4,000 black. We started getting small sponsors before my daughter got seriously sick. I was going to build that center and disgrace George Weir. I tell you, the first 200 women are going to go from the street in that center. And you're going to, all of them are going to be disgraced because they use the people to run campaign.
And that's what I said before. They deliberately, we have a National Rehabilitation Commission that is charged with the responsibility. But all of these people, they have their own NGO, and they know they don't want to do it. But the reason is to suppress these people to elevate their own political ambition. Don't go away. Yeah. I don't want anybody to say something in your absence. Maybe it's just hang in there. Let me bring in a few people here. I will come to you, by George. The Progressive Samson Branto is here from California. This guy, I don't know what he's going to say this evening here again, but I'm going to give him the chance. And I have a 612 here, 3168 here. Delibro, are you there?
I am. I want to reassure you and your conservative friend over there that you guys need not to be afraid. I am not here to bamboozle both of you into doing things that perhaps you might not be satisfied with. However, I just want to make this one point here very quickly, Mr. So, and thanks for the show. Now, the issue with the hospital has always been a backbone of not just Bond County, but the entire region, the entire rural region within that circle of community. The people that depend on our hospital, 450,000 people from in our community depend on our hospital. Yeah. However, Mr. So, it means that thing when the hospital came to be back in 1921, Remember now, within that 20-something, that's when the Firestone and all the other people started doing what they think they were doing good for Liberia. However, when they started, instead of being just being by itself and say whatever we have, we will do it as private entity, they decided, and with in cahoots with the government at the time, decided because Phoebe was doing good, and they still, I don't know about today because I've not been there, but they used to be one of the best. Okay, but the government used to subsidize these people. They used to put money, 80% of their budget were coming from the government. You don't know who's going to lead government from point to point. Now we have this government that is in, and from all the reading that I've been doing, it seems that these people, they're specific people that are within the government that are kind of angry of what is happening in Phoebe and the bull. I know a little bit, one or two things about bull. You know I'm a who bull, what kind of bull I am. You know me, but I'm not even going to touch it. Anyhow, on a very serious note, Mr. So, these people, the government people decided they have a doctor. They decided to transfer the doctor, having been serving for 10 years. And apparently, it has to do with the kinds of decisions the board making that they want to be part of it. And there are certain people, even in our own community, people can be, if you're doing something that is good, people want part of it. And if they don't, even if you are not qualified to be part of that, they will do everything possible to bring it down. That's always been Liberian nature. That's what we do. Now, in this case, the doctor is being transferred, and people are saying no. And the government says, no, we have the right to do that. Why? Because they put 1 or 2 cents into these people's budget. I mean, not 2 cents, 80%, that's a lot. So I think PB will do better to actually have a size settlement with the government and agree with whatever term the government is saying, and let's move on with the hospital being staffed back up. Because by you insisting, no, we are private institution, you're being supported by the government since 1921. And now you want to say you're private institution, whereas 80% of your budget is coming from the government. So those who, and I keep saying this, young Liberians nowadays are sophisticated. If they want to bring that country down, they don't even have to shoot a gun. They'll just do it through jealousy and envy against one another. And that's exactly what is happening right now, in my opinion, what's happening in Phoebe. So I would say the Phoebe staff and the board, they should just go back to the government and say, okay, do whatever it is that you want to do. We want people here. Because there are a lot of Liberians, not just people in Bon County. Anybody can come from my other area and go through Bon County, get sick, and go to Phoebe. It has happened before. So Phoebe is not just for Bon County, it's for the entire community. And we need it. So let the board, I would suggest the board go back to the government and say, okay, you want to bring John Brown, bring John Brown. But let's have the people back here to do the work. That would be my suggestion.
Okay, the Liberal. Hold on 1 second. Let me come to this number, being very patient, 612. Then I will go back to Madam Wilson to make her closing remark and go to George. 612, number 3168. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. Sue. How are you?
Is that Terry?
Yeah, Terry it is.
Okay, Terry, what's up? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that the hospital in Bon County, I think the reason why the government is not showing responsibility, which they should, I think is because it's political. We all know that the vice president from that particular place. And I think the president is, I would not want to use this statement, but I think at this stage now, we think we need to use it that he's careless because of his political ambition. All right. Not having that cordial relationship with the vice president, he thinks that doing that by suffocating the hospital because of her will create some level of will cause her not to be popular in that particular county, which is not so. I believe that it's affecting the country because Phoebe Hospital has been an outstanding hospital in that particular environment for many years. So, for what we're hearing about what's going on in Phoebe, that means that all the pregnant women and all in that,
that's scary though.
Bon County is a very big county. It connects with It connects with Lofa County. It connects with
Grand Basso, Mangibi. Oh, yes, it's in the middle of everywhere.
And all of that. Yeah, and that hospital is the nuclear for all those counties. So, you know, it is the government responsibility. I listened to the lady just on the line talking about we in America need to send money back home and all of that. Who are you going to send money to take care of those kind of things? These are not, this entity is not a private entity. This is a government institution. This is an entity that falls under government responsibility. The budget is supposed to facilitate that particular hospital. All right, it's supposed to be a priority. So government is supposed to be government priority. So this is something that they're supposed to focus on, because if a government who cannot provide health services for her people, it means that that government is not supposed to rule. That's just it, because health is security. Health also provides security. That's what they call security. That is the reason why the people elect you for. That is why they elected you. So I don't understand for what reason, because the government cannot say they don't have money for PB Hospital. I don't want to believe that. All right? Because in as much as the country economy is not the way it is, these are areas that you're supposed to prioritize in the country. So in my mind, I think the reason why the government is not focusing on that hospital is because of political reasons. All right, that is what I want to say. I think it's because of political reasons, because Joel and the president is not moving as the way we saw them moving from the initial stage of the elections. Yeah.
Okay. Let me go back. Madam Wilson, correct? Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think we have to find time here, because you know, sometimes we need to pick time here with all of this here. So based on your own experience, where do we go from here?
Let me just correct my brother who was on the line just now. I never said money.
Right. Okay.
What I said, if at all, in time, because I got over 2,000 plus drug victims and prostitutes that I have worked with lately for the past 3-4 years before coming to the States. If I run there just now, and the time comes, I say, let's rise up. And we walk beyond the women who got the children missing. They will listen to me. Ask anybody about Christiana Wilson in Broadway, the Central Morocco there. We have to do something for our community. If we sit in America, in Europe, and you got our brother from Bon County on the line, and he tells some guys in, they got some Bon County or citizens here who are doctors, lawyers, and what have you. What the Better Church did the last time. They went there, they called it such a commission. Right in the church. We all got our little contribution, our visiting, and they went to JFK. They did a lot of work, and hundreds of Liberians were blessed. We don't have to wait for the one government. Joel is an individual. If John we want to punish the one of Bon County because of Joel,
that doesn't even make sense.
You know what it means? Joel is an individual. Call for prayer support. Joel is not on the scene. What happened to the girl that is in the village? Pregnant on 16 years old, and her giving birth is a threat to her life. So you want to tell me those who in America, in Europe, we Liberians cannot put together for one village in Gaple? Yeah, you have the people in Banga, Saikore, in Johnstown, in Koya, Oya, Ero. You can put one small 2-bedroom there to help your own people. We have to wait for the one judge we are. And everything is central around Central Morovia. Have you gone to your village to see how people dying? We live there and we'll come back crying. We go our clothes and we leave everything back. I'm telling you, go in I work in 14 counties. I know what I'm talking. Looking what service, we will park the car and we will walk for hours. So what do you want the people to do? They're not government, they're us, ourselves.
Yeah, can I say something to you, my sister?
Yes, Papa.
You need to understand that the reason why Liberia is suffering is because of just what you are explaining. When people go to Liberia and carry preliminary aid and services, it do last. It won't help you, because after a certain period of time, you're talking about building a house. You build a house, you set the facilities and all of that. Once those facilities once there is no means to keep bringing it or for it to keep coming, what will happen is that because you're depending on the supply. What happens when the supply breaks down? The system breaks down and you go back to zero. That's what happening to Liberia now. If you look at during the war, I mean, after the war, you talk about the rehabilitation, all right? There were people that went through the process, but the process did not help them because there was no program that was able to empower them for them to keep carrying on the process. Take, for example, if somebody learn how to be a carpenter, learn how to be a computer engineer, because that was the process for the rehabilitation. And
brother, let me come into that.
Nothing given to them to invest after you become a carpenter. What do you do from there onward? What do you do? What is the equipment? What is the means for which you can go and start working as a carpenter to help yourself? No job opportunity. Nothing is created whatsoever. How can you pick up from there? You saw $16 billion. NGOs went to Liberia. They spent $16 billion to help to rehabilitate our society. They were all in the budget. Up to now, all those monies have been spent, and the country and the people still remain suffering. So it tells you that the investment that you're going to make will not help you. You need institutions that work, that will have a flow of supply, that will be able to generate their own proceeds to help themselves. That is how America is great. So if you keep spending money and giving to the people, there will come a time where you will not be able to give anymore. When you are not able to give anymore, what become of the people? What become of the system? That is why Liberia is suffering. We have been, our budget on earning 70% of the budget was depending on donors. That is the reason why donors is not feeding the budget now. So the country does not have that means to meet up with that amount of cash flow. So as a result, every other sector in the country is having problems. You know, and that is the reason why we're suffering.
Okay, all right. When I wasn't, I think I want to thank you everything for your services. I haven't memory yet. I will call you. I think we need to have conversations sometime outside of politics and see where we can go as a country. The Liberal, do you have any of you guys there? Any closing remark before I go back to my guests?
Yeah, I just want to get off of this a little bit because it seems to me that the government is set on making sure that Phoebe follows its rules. Because in fact, if you just read something here, the government is supporting Phoebe. The guy said with 80% of his budget need to run the hospital, and as such, a decision at the hospital will be made by the government, according to the chief hospital person for the government. Another thing, this is Sabbath, Mr. So. I want this. I just want to make this point here very quickly. Speaking about the government of Dr. Weah, I think at this time that the stock of Madam Ellen Sirleaf is now being taken to another level, and I think all of those people that thought that this Madam, our former president, is finished, they better think twice. And I think if Dr. Weah and his people are smart, they would not try to denigrate this lady and try to be friend with her. Now, why do I say this? Quite recently, we've been reading a lot about Greenfield. Now, former ambassador to Liberia, ambassador, U.S. ambassador to Liberia, Greenfield, who is very close to the former president of Liberia as well, and they're very good friends. She's now, in fact, is also heading Joe Biden. The people that are supposed to have the interaction with Trump government, but she's in charge of the State Department section of that negotiation. She's not going away. So if you know that this lady who is very close to Ellie is being permanent in Joe Biden group or inside of, if you might say so, then I think you will do better to make sure that the madam is happy. So I just want to throw it out there as a liberal. That's it. But anyhow, thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate it, sir.
There you go. Amos, yeah, you got a Libra this evening again. My goodness. Thank you so much. Okay, Pa Joyce.
Yeah.
Thank you for being patient here. But I think with the SFs, especially from Madam Wilson, these are people, I will try to reach her here for us to get some sort of a conversation here. But I think she made a very good, arguable point. She knows the terrain, she worked with the people, and that's just validate some of the things that we've been talking here. We've all been talking here. The failure on the part of our leaders, both houses of government, to institute, to put in place measures, long-term measures. They are all on a short-term goal, which is not a solution. You must have a short-term and a long-term projection. Anything that you try to do, but these people are just running on a sort of light scale because they want to pave their way.
Yeah, and Mr. So let me say, Mr. Toh said something about 80% funding hospital, which is true. I said it before. The church has a problem with her own bookkeeping. There's an issue there going. But here's the thing here. Private institution in Liberia, take for example the churches and things, those big churches, government subsidize those schools institutions to keep the tuition at certain base. Government gave all the institution money. Why they are not saying that they will take over those institutions? Why only the Phoebe Hospital? It is government responsibility to provide subsidies to this institution. According to private institution, government is supposed to provide subsidy to this institution to keep that tuition at base affordable for the ordinary Liberian. My question is why the Phoebe Hospital was single or not? Why? Why? Why the Phoebe Hospital not being single? That's the only institution that government is providing something that they want to be on the board. Why?
You need answer to that why, right?
Yes. So here's the thing here. I get it. But Bone County is a country of revenue. It's not one of those counties that you say they're not producing anything. Government take a huge amount of money from the county.
I find it difficult with Terry's argument that they ain't and supposedly the actions of being point to punish Phoebe on the part allegedly by the government is to hurt what his name by Joe Howard Taylor. It doesn't make sense.
What, Mr. So that's what you think.
That's why we're going to see the argument or to see who the bungies are, whether it will hurt Joe Howard Taylor or it will have its own political inflation onto the government comes this election. What do you think going to happen? Because Joe Howard Taylor is Monrovia. Joe Howard Taylor was sick the other day. She went to get a treatment in Ghana. She didn't go to Phoebe. So why would they make such a kind of guess game that it's 10? Even though, I mean, he has a valid point, saying that, okay, to make it, but no, and a smart politician wants to do that because you are damaging your own political journey because when Bone County is hurt, the payback going to come to you. But the question here, Liberian voters are not sophisticated, are not equipped to the extent. They are not like the voters here who look at the issues. They don't just go and demonstrate. Their payback is at the ballot box because when they ask you to do something, they give you that 2-year, 4-year term. If you don't do it, they say, okay, we will pay you back. There is a place that we can speak, and where the speak is at the ballot box. That's not our voters. They're not going to do that.
No, our voters are not that sophisticated. They will not do it. But here's the thing here, and I stay because I said I wanted to stay away from the vice president thing today, so I don't want to dive into that area because I don't want to say. But Mr. So, Henry Yala, sitting superintendent, senator, Prince Moyo, deputy speaker, Mervyn Cole, representative from CDC, Henry Yala, CDC, the superintendent, CDC, that the Toba is not from that camp. But all these people, Mr. So, are you telling me they could not go on to the president and say, Mr. President, it's our home. If we do this, it's going to reflect on negatively. You don't think they would have done so? But they don't care. Because you know what, they will take 5 10 and go and give it to the people, and the people vote them in. But these people, the voters, are not looking at their own health. They are not even looking at that hospital.
Listen to Umar Kengoze, because they are not part of the CDC Sabo unit or ex-general and the crew defense force. Oh my goodness, Umar, come on, don't do that. Look, this is how people make a calculated mind, because when you begin to do the unusual, it gives people the feelings that, oh, I'm doing this because of something. And when this goes into the mind, the inner part of people, it makes it very difficult. You find it very difficult to put up any excuse. But again, it comes down to our people, the leaders, people that are representing us. I just do not know. And to that Thompson point argument, believe me, don't joke with it.
No.
My guess, I'm making an educated guess here. My guess, you're going to see a different course of channel with the U.S. and the government labor relationship. If Biden is after Biden's inauguration, you find out there are more than 2-3 Liberians now been elected, and some of these people, they monitor, they know exactly what's going on. And the laziness of our politicians, these senators, these representatives, who when they come here to, their supporters keeps them in the basement, have for nothing parties, drink, and that's it. They don't even pick up chance to make friends with state representatives, congressmen, senators. That's where those boys used to do those days. They make friends with these people. They exchange invite. They come and visit. That's how you close. That's how you build ties with these big countries. When they come here, they have people take them to some sort of hall. They have party, eat, and talk part of gibberish and all those sort of stuff. And they think that's it. What kind of senator, a representative, you are senator of Liberia, representative, you come here, you can't even by mistake meet the city that you reside in, the city mayor, or even congressman or state representative. And they just come, there are people. And that's why sometimes when I look at the people that support them and talk for them, like these people, they don't even know what they are doing. You think, and they just cry, oh, international America, America. You think America can just get and fry her face into people's business? That you don't even get one state representative, one congressman phone number to say, hey, this is what's going on. I want you to come visit. I'm coming to visit. They don't do that.
Let me tell you, and this government, Joe Biden coming to power, you're going to see a tough time that we are government going to get Mr. So. And let me tell you this. Some of the advocates here, they know as far as the speaker, Nancy Pelosi. Take, for example, Henry Costa, the senator in Delaware. And he called a man when you're in trouble.
They're not serious. Those are the people there. Other than they're not serious. You
so
think
the
that
government sitting down there.
President, it makes the people then to even know that these people, they're not even good to do business with. That's not how America. Do you see Joe Biden people insulting Donald Trump here? It is the media doing their way. It is their surrogate. They don't do their work like that. But we have these very unserious politicians call themselves social club people, call themselves opposition, still not even doing anything like the government themselves. When do you see Alexander Kumi or even Joseph Boyka in and out every day to sit and visit a U.S. congressman or representative or to a senator in the bilateral conversation style? Look, America and U.S., you are our godfather. America, your interest is in Liberia, but this is what the country is doing. They can't even control their house. So how would people listen to them? No. They're not serious. You think by them sitting down every minute, every second you break news, George, we are wearing $50 shoe. You think is that matters to U.S.? You think that's what is that part of their security? Or do you think it has an impact to their security of U.S.? No. That's not what they're going to look at. They're not serious.
They're not serious.
They all want to go good.
Yeah, and as a result, the country is suffering. But this Phoebe hospital thing, I'm not going to stop until people from the government can come to justify. I understand you're giving 80%. That's subsidy to the hospital.
The
hospital,
they come on Jolly. They come here,
yeah.
they stay here a whole month, and they are unable to even this. You know, sometimes they talk about these. I had to go into this sort of conversations here, American Congo, but that's how it's not just only their education, their ability to connect. That's the networking. They are very good at that. No, any of those days, they will never come here without then the state that they will even reside in for that day, without them making a mistake to meet that state representative or state senator. That's how you make friends. That's how
who jumped on your cause? Who was talking on your behalf when you don't know anybody? When they bring your country name up.
They have your supporters in here who are advocating for them. They claim to be popular. They claim to do that, and they are unable to even connect these people with their people. I don't know how they think they can be, how they think their point can be argued.
Well, we're waiting. But
okay,
here's the thing here.
Go ahead. Oh, wrap up.
Here's the thing here. This hospital business, I want the Liberian government to come and explain to the public, because they were providing 80%, and the church refuses to allow them in the bowl, so they withdraw all the support. So it said because of the church, what happened to the citizens of that country, of that county? The taxes you collect from them, the China mine, the gold mine in Kokoya, all those taxes you collect from them. It said because 80% that you pay is the money you're giving back to them. It is the money. It is not that you're getting resources from outside to support the hospital. You collect all the taxes, all the revenue from Bone County. So if you're giving back to the hospital, it's like a subsidy. The hospital gave you the right to appoint all the administrators in the hospital. So why it is that if you are on the board, is that other measure you can sit down to talk with the hospital, but you go ahead to withdraw all the doctors from the hospital? It means that you don't care about the life of those people. And to all the people, the elected officials of that country, and to the Minister of Health, I will tell them tonight that the people of Bongo, the blood are on your hands. I don't care.
The blood
are on these people's hands. Yes, Mr. Ato, because if there's a critical case, the CB Domba doesn't have to treat a surgical department. So what happened to those people? They died because government pulled doctors from the field because they refused to put them on the bowl. And why are you taking the revenue from Bone County? So I would say to Wadimina Jala, to Henry Yala, to Prince Moyu, to all the representatives who are not speaking on this issue, the blood of Bone Counties are on your hands. I'm seeing it, and I will not back down from it.
Okay.
But Mr. Toh, we have a whole lot to discuss before we close. I wanted to leave this world with one son from Bone County. It is Manipaka Des Moines.
You seems to be in an all-out battle with those people in Bone County. What the heck is going on?
No, Mr. So, look, you know, not everybody, you know, I support Ms. Dorothy Des Moines in Dorothy in Bone County running for senator. I'm not in battle with everybody. But yeah, it's the reality here. This young man, a promising young man like that, to take the decision that he's taking today. And if someone else remains silent, it means that we are committing suicide for ourselves and our people. We have to speak up. They can vote him, but someone else will be on the record. But Des Moines,
primary when he elected to go free child state. Can you imagine?
That one coming to. But Des Moines, he said over and over that Chancellor is his role model. Chancellor is his mentor. This man got Chancellor picture on cars in Bone County running up and down. But this guy, I want to ask him, is he thinking the atrocity that Chancellor men under his command in Bone County and Liberia committed against the Liberian people? And you telling me this man is your role model? This is a man you admire. And you telling me that you want to be senator of Bone County? What does speak of your character? If this man, your villages were destroyed, women were raped, forced labor, years, your people were in bushes, and you come out, and this is a man now, you're lifting up to the people that this is a man, is your role model, this is a man, is your mentor. Then the question I ask, what is the character of this man? What is the character of Montaka Dumont? That he want the people of Bon County to elect him.
Well, the man, he make a good, he tweeted a stupid tweet, crazy tweet, where he said he's going to use AK-47 to opposition. Yeah. Other people validated that sort of crazy stuff. And he said it was a figurative, something was literary or whatever time. He gives him the people
that every chief in Bon County is supposed to have a car. Can't that possible? He not even talking about he said a car. He talking about, oh, when he let he will make sure that every children in Bon County get a computer. I mean, what is this? And people are buying the kind of narrative in the country. You got people following him.
Yeah, that's it.
This man does not believe in the war and economic crime code, because if he African to release the release of Charles, I mean, he does not believe in the war and economic crime code of Liberia, which something is dear to my heart. That's why I come after Montaka Dumont.
I want to petition you to go wrong. Will you go, Pa George?
No, I go to Liberia, but I just believe in advocacy. I really don't. I'm not interested in government job. I believe in advocacy.
Okay.
I just want to leave on that note, and I'm urging the government, the church, the stakeholder in Bon Country to come up so we can discuss this here, because it's the people's life. It's not about one individual. It is the lives of the citizenry, and I think our people deserve better, because government collect their taxes from the resources. I just want to say thank you, Mr. Soul, for giving me the platform, and I will continue.
George, thank you so much. All right, folks, that's how we're going to come to an end this beautiful Sunday evening. So my viewers, listeners, wherever you are, I want to say thank you for chilling in with us this Sunday. Neighboring Nigeria in the interest of African solidarity. True by Monique. All right, folks, I want to thank you so much for being part of it. On the 29th of this month, the gentleman you see there is the state representative. A Liberian came to this country in the early 90s as a result of the civil crisis. Honorable Nathan Bia. He formerly served as the president of the Liberian community at 2 terms. He will be my guest. He's a state representative here in my own ocean state of Rhode Island. His inauguration will be right here at the State House here in Rhode Island in January. We are hearing on the 25th. We're going to make sure of that time. Hopefully it meets us in good health and condition. Liberia Public Radio going to be there to capture that colorful ceremony if we are allowed because of this COVID. Nathan Biat, he is a state representative elect of District Number 3 that is in Providence. Guess what? He whipped 2 terms representative. Watch right there in here in Rhode Island in the district of in Providence, District Number 3. Nathan Bia. He formerly served as the president of the Liberian community here in the ocean state of Rhode Island. He would be my guest on the 29th Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I have searched all over the world and I found nobody like you, Jesus. Better morning star, only you I serve. Every day I will pour my love on you. That's why when I wake in the morning I sing my praise to you. In the night, oh, now you are the God, now you the rain, now you, oh, you be Baba. And so it's salute. You be Baba. Daddy, no one like you. You be Baba. Oh, yeah, I love you, I declare my love. I praise you, you alone, my Lord. Holy Spirit, my love, you alone, my Father. My sweet comforter, you are my defender. When praises go up, your blessings come down.
Oh yes, when praises goes up, your blessing comes down. So by Monique Nayurint is a Nigerian gospel artist making a contribution to right here to into these editions of a Freedomwatch comes away every Sunday, and I just want to say a big thank you because my daughter went through and the family. And the rest of the family went through terror. 5 grown-up men carried his message to court cognizance and just broke forcibly made their way in the house and told everything. And it's up to this. She's still going through that terror and that sort of post-trauma thing. But I thank God everything went better. The life is important. This is how volatile, how terrible the country is. And it is important that people sleep in peace. The armed robbers, and I agree with the pastor. I believe they need to call other people on board now to help the process. People like A.B. Kalulu Kroman, because he was in pursuit. He pursued it and that went down a bit. Now they are back again. What? Until then, folks, I'm going to be back here at John the Liberal Progressive tomorrow. We'll be back here on Sunday.
Hallelujah.
Viral has intensified again. Monitor news. It is serious. It is getting be most dangerous. And how it started in the past. Please take all necessary precautions. Always travel with your glove. Taking gas at the pump. Wear your glove. Using your credit, your debit card. Make sure your hands are protected. Keep whatever necessary things that you have. To make sure, because this virus is still real. I must take it seriously. All right.
Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. I bow before the throne. When I look alone,
I will be hosting Representative-elect Nathan Biat of the Ocean State of Rhode Island, first Liberian, I believe, to be elected as state representative, beating 2 terms incumbent. And a big win. Nathan Biata will be joining me here on the 29th of this month at the hour of 6 p.m. 5:30. The commentary is going to start. Those who knows who he was, who he is, and his journey, how he came to this political cycle to find himself here. We're going to be discussing all of that here. Come Sunday, so not this Sunday on the 29th. That's a week plus from now. He's going to be my guest right here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island.
give me the highest praise.
Come let's praise Jehovah. Come let's worship Jehovah. He deserves the praise. Come let's praise Him. He deserves everything. Oh, the worshiping. Oh, He gave me life. I will praise His name. I'm here to praise my God, oh, because He gave me life. Come celebrate, come jubilate, come to worship Him. He deserves the praise. Hallelujah, giving the higher praise. Hallelujah, giving the higher praise.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Giving the higher praise, the friend and brother, the late Minister of Public Works, Republic of Liberia, Minister Mambutu Vlanyimpa, will be laid to rest at the end of this month, precisely 24th, 6th, I believe. On the Thursday, he will be laid to rest. We're just getting a message here. There should have been a family gathering, but that have been tabled. It was slated to be held in Philadelphia. We're on air here. A meeting has concluded, and that has been tabled for now. But the late minister will be laid to rest. It will be laid to rest by the 26th of this month in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Our prayer center goes out to everybody. Folks, I want to thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Until then, have a pleasant evening.
Oh my Jesus, come receive my praise. There is nobody like you. I show a salute. Daddy, no one like you. Oh yeah,
I rise to praise my God. Attention, my national praise. Yes, sir. International dance for my supernatural God. That's right. Melody in my heart. This way see you back. I sing because I'm happy. I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh, yeah, follow me, thank you. Well, everybody, well.